What is up, Response on Players? This is Response on Play, back with episode 11. I am Steph, sitting on a boat with a fan on it, joined by...
Jake, hoping that the gators don't nip at my toesies.
Andrew, this is my favorite scene from Resident Evil 5.
And James, I didn't realize how windy it was going to be. I wish I brought a coat.
We are trying to be on our way to Florida to catch up with Bryan, who's currently at Worlds, doing pretty well, but we're not going to talk about that just yet. I think we might have gotten lost, as usual for us. This looks kind of bayou-y, which I think is in Florida. But I guess while we're here, surrounded by gators with a boat dead in the water, we might as well talk about some Exandria reveals. We got some pretty cool cards, quite a few cards that came out, but right now I'm kind of mostly interested in the secret rares, because they're pretty, and they look cool, and they're secret.
I just want to point out that I just love our prioritization of card reveals and not just, we should probably send like an SOS or something. We're stuck. We're stranded out here.
I mean, what else are we going to do, you know?
I mean, I guess so. You got me there.
I mean, Jake's like
She's got me there, chat.
Jake's chilling in the water. He's having a great time. One with the gators.
So what is the first secret that we have today?
All right, the first secret I'm looking at is a card called Earthbreaker. It's a 5-diff attack, 3 low for 5 damage. It's got stun 2, charge, and punch on it. And it says, Blitz. If your rival has more foundations than you, draw 1 card. Response, card pool. After you draw 1 or more cards, your attack gets +1 damage. And then also response. After this attack deals damage, destroy 1 rival foundation committed during this attack. And it has cogwheel.
All.
Sure, yeah. I've never seen anyone play on that symbol.
It's because all has not been good for sets.
Oh.
It's all death, earth, water.
I've never seen anyone, sorry, this is unrelated. I've never seen anyone play on all. I have never seen anyone play on the infinity symbol either. Like, what even is that? Is that also all? Or no? What is that?
No, infinity symbol cards can be used no matter what symbol you're playing on.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's probably why no one's ever played on it.
Yeah, no one's played Bearded Titan for good reason.
We can change that.
No one should.
No one should.
No. Also, it's a 1 high block.
Yeah, it's also a 1 high block. Who cares about that though?
I mean, hey, 1 high is a good block. I'm just saying.
We don't block where we're from.
Anyway, it's got all death, earth, and water on it. So if you guys remember what I just said, I know it was a lot. What do you think about this card?
I mean, I like this card. Stun 2 is always always good. And opening with this and stunning 2 is very good with the card pull response of just drawing. So this card is just a very good opener. So if you draw a lot of cards, you can amp your attack's damage. It also draws a card itself, so it immediately gets to respond and give itself a damage. So it's a 3 low 6. Honestly, a pretty good start to the secret rares. I know we already have been spoiled Harness Undeath. That was technically the first secret that was spoiled for this set. But the proper first reveal, I think, goes to Earthbreaker, and I think it's a good first reveal.
Well, Andrew says it's a good reveal, so I'm going to say it's a bad reveal. To be
All right.
completely honest, I think 3 low for 5, wanting to hit to do anything meaningful. Cool. After you draw 1 or more cards, it gets a damage. That's neat. It's a 3 low with no way to pump speed. So if you play this in anything that doesn't readily have a bunch of speed available, this probably isn't hitting, especially with an on-hit effect. And you have to have more foundations than you to draw. So if we keep pace, it's also potentially not a draw card. So there are points in the game, especially if you went first, you're less likely to get draws off of this card. Stun 2 is always good, but this actually kind of feels like a miss for me. I think the ability later, like ideally you want to set this and then use its card pool response to gain damage on other stuff and try to pump. I just think that you probably could have gone a little bit harder in that area and not gone, if this deals damage, destroy a rival foundation committed during this attack. Womp womp. And it has to be committed, so a committed foundation. I think that's kind of meh. I like the setup potential. I like being able to like pump stuff that maybe usually couldn't get pumped, like as you draw cards. But outside of a handful of decks, I really don't see this being too relevant.
I mean, honestly, so on Earth, you do get Master of Drunken Fighting. They get to commit a foundation. So not only the stun 2 from this attack, but it's just any foundation that was committed during this attack. So if they commit for minus speed, they commit because you use Master of Drunken Fighting. Like any card that gets committed during this attack is a target for the destruction. So if they commit speed hate, you can get rid of their speed hate for a later turn. Or again, Master of Drunken Fighting, you commit it, they commit a foundation, and that just opens more targets than just the cards that were stunned.
Yeah, I don't know. I've a lot of cards that have low speed like this that are like setup cards or do something impactful like Deception Dagger have a way to gain speed, and it's I don't know. You do have to put a card in front of it to block it, but it's just not hard to block unless you're wasting potentially valuable speed gain for more important attacks. I mean, it doesn't matter if you destroy one committed or how they committed it. That's neat, but at a 3 low base, it's probably not hitting no matter what the damage is, and it's your setup, so there are no cards in card pool. So this thing's getting blocked. It's neat they have to waste a card to block it because it does a little bit of extra. I just think it's a little underwhelming for a secret rare. Like this reads like an ultra rare for me.
That's fair. I think this is probably maybe just a Grog card because he gets the draw every time he does the rage counter, so he gives +4 damage now. So, like you said, it's a setup card. Depending on what you have access to, there may just be better stuff to start off with. So I don't know. I think it's fine. Not doesn't blow me away, but I think it's fine.
Agreed.
Yeah, that's my opinion on it too. My other opinion is on the art because I like the art the most. Have they always done like with secret rares? Have they always made the outer edges of the cards like the primary color of the card, or is that new with this set?
I think the border themselves is new. Usually
Yeah.
the secret rares are just like full art.
Yeah, I like that. I like the border being like colored. It's really pretty.
I think they did something like that with Girl Power. I believe the secrets were
Oh, did they?
colored. I believe so.
Hmm.
Because I remember Gigantification Swing having like a purple border.
Oh yeah.
Audio
Oh,
Reverberation
yes.
having like a grayish black kind of border.
Well, I'm glad they brought that back because I think it looks really good.
Agreed. It looks really good.
Yeah, the art on this very clean. I think the art's really good. I don't feel like the art in this set has been lackluster. I feel like most of the cards, even a lot of like the commons and stuff, have pretty good art. I'm pretty jazzed overall about this set, and that's from somebody that's never seen a Critical Role anything. So I'm not surprised the art's good, but the art is very good.
Well, let's move on to the next secret rare then. This is Grog's Rage. It is a 5 diff 2 check. That's a 2 on the bottom right attack. It's a 0 mid block, which is cool. It's a 6 high for 6. It's got powerful 2, Fury, and Weapon on it. And it says, let me take a deep breath, because nobody warned me that you run out of breath when you're reading all these cards.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? Not me. Blitz. Sacrifice 1 foundation. You may remove rage counters from your character as though you were spending momentum to pay for this attack's powerful ability. And it also has Blitz. Add 1 rage counter to your character. If there are 5 or more rage counters on your character, this attack gains stun 2. And it's got death, earth, and fire.
If you slave this attack down, you're probably killing your opponent. Just having powerful 2, having another outlet for the rage counters. I mean, Grog gets to remove a rage counter for 3 damage and draw a card, and then you just get to spend more for plus 2 more damage for each one. Seems pretty good to me. On top of giving it stun 2, if you have enough rage counters, it gives itself a rage counter. It's well statted for a secret rare. It's got a 0 mid block. I think this justifies a 2 check. Like, this card has a lot.
Yeah, I would agree. I just hate 2 checks. But the zero mid block is good. Like what's that called? Like an omni block, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, just the mid in general is an omni block, but yeah, the 0 mid. is good. I think this card's sick.
Yeah.
I think it
Mhm.
deserves a 2-check. It does a lot.
Yeah.
5 rage counters is not a lot. So
No.
I think it gets the stun 2 very quickly. And yeah, this card's really good.
I'm sad that Bryan is not here because he would have so much to say about this card, but he had to go do well at Worlds or whatever.
Yeah, how dare he?
How dare he be successful?
Yeah, out here praying for his downfall.
Come off
Whoa!
podcast for this.
Just kidding, Bryan. We love you.
Well, anyway, yeah, I mean, this card's great. I mean, it's, whereas the last one was like a 3 low for 5 on a 5 diff, this thing's also a 5 diff, and it's a 6 high for 6 that has powerful 2 on it. Also has stun 2 on it.
It is night and day.
And sacrifice foundation to use your rage counters for powerful. So this thing just gets massive. So you just use whatever rage counter buffs you want, and then you go, nice. A sacrifice foundation, and I'm gonna give it like powerful 2 like 7 times.
Yeah.
Good night, sweet prince.
Yeah, when you put it that way, like comparing this card to the last one, it's like,
Oh, it's night. It's 100% night and day.
Yeah.
Like it is. This secret does a lot.
It
Yeah,
does.
this secret feels like a secret. The 2-check kind of punishing a little bit, but I mean, a lot of people are running at least one 2-check in their decks oftentimes. I think hitting a 2-check, it's just part of the game. I mean, you've got like lethal slash and stuff that are really strong at 2-checks. This is easily playable, and anything that uses rage counter, 0 mid block. It's statted well. Like, this is a secret rare.
Mhm.
The other one definitely reads like a UR. This is definitely a secret rare. This is a good card.
100%. Like, this just gives Grog another way to kill somebody. If the other cards weren't doing it already, this just says, okay, this is like the second or third attack. You just go, okay, well, now you die, right? Like, there's no way you live past this.
Let's go into the next one. This is one we have seen already, but I'll read it anyway because it's right in front of me. This is Harness Undeath. It's an attack that is a 4 diff, just normal 3-check. It's a 1 high block. It's a 4 low for 4, and it's a spell on it. And it also says Blitz sacrifice 1 backup. This attack gains Echo. Response card pool. After your rival loses health, gain a health. And response lose 2 health. After this attack deals damage to a character, your rival loses X health. X equals the number of backups in all discard piles. And it's got chaos, death, and life. What are we thinking?
Yeah, so just like Steph said, we've already seen this card. This card makes me want to try to use backups. Like, I like the art for this card. Obviously, we'll keep saying it over and over and over again. Art in this set, it looks really good. Like, I love just the look of this card. It looks great. And also, it's a burn strategy card on top of just using backups. So again, it makes me want to try to utilize backups more if I were to play this card. Like, give backups a chance.
All right, tell me how awful this would be. Dobby 3. What's the Chimera I have?
3.
3? Okay. Okay, shut up, James. Everybody but James, tell me how bad this is. Dobby 3. Wait, does he have chaos?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Dobby 3 on
Chaos
chaos.
Deathfire, or Chaos Evil Fire.
Running
Wait.
this with
Does Dobby?
Wait, I was just making sure. I don't know all the symbols on every card like you guys, okay? Dobby 3, chaos, running this card with backups. Is it bad?
I would say it would be awkward at the very least because I think you have 2 playstyles that's clashing.
Question,
Okay.
Andrew, do you like it as a playstyle?
Shut up! I'm not answering that.
What?
My results are inconclusive then.
Oh, fair.
I'm not answering that. Shut up.
Yeah, Dobby does not care about backups at all, so you
No.
have to kind of like force them in and make them work somehow. Whereas this would synergize a lot better in a character that already cares about backups.
I just
Like
want
Caduceus.
Dobby to be like relevant.
I mean, I get it because I think Dobby 3 is cool. But I just think with the playstyle that Undeath wants, with Dobby 3 wanting your opponent to check a bunch, I think it just
Yeah.
clashes. It'll be too unfocused. It would just be
All over the
not good.
not tight enough. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I'm sad, but I get it. It's like every time I have two like modes in my brain. One mode is Godzilla mode and the other is Dobby mode, and I'm just like constantly like which one is this going to work for? And it like neither of them is usually the answer, but that's okay.
Giant big lizard
Or little emo boy.
flaming e-boy.
Yeah.
Flaming emo boy. Mm.
Girls only want one of two things. Anyway.
Harness Undeath it's a cool card. It has made me think about wanting to try to play a backup deck. So I think this card's cool. I like it.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I don't necessarily feel excited to try a backup character, but this card like makes me want to because I think it's pretty cool. I don't know. I like what it does. I think it's a super cool card. I
Agreed.
would love to kill somebody with the burn.
Jake, do you have any updated opinions on Harness Undeath?
I think in decks that want to use it is awesome. I actually think you could almost do like a Caleb backup, like find a handful of synergistic backups, just mainly because like being
I thought about doing that, yeah.
To give it echo, and then after they lose a health, you gain a health, so you can just burn them with your general spell cards, and this activates. And then Andrew, this if it's in the card pool, even if it's your active attack, you still can use the response. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. That's what I thought. So yeah, I think there are ways to use this, especially in something like Caleb, where you only lose the health if you respond, and if you have a handful of backups in your deck, like this, it just does extra health, and it's in all backup piles, so or in all discard piles. So I mean, if you play against a backup user, it just hurts them really bad. But yeah, I think this could be a cool card. I would want to experiment with it in like Caleb or something if I were going to play it. But I think it's fine. It doesn't scream like really powerful secret rare, but it's like statted decently for like a 4 diff, a 1 high. It's a 1 high block with it's 4 low for 4 that can give itself echo and does a bunch of stuff. If you're in that play style, it's fine. It's a little less multi-use than a lot of secret rares tend to be, but I still think it's pretty good.
Yeah, I have thought about trying to play this in Caleb and like try to have a list work. And just trying to avoid using Chaos on Caleb, just because Chaos is really good, and I want to try the other symbols first.
You don't want to play good like
that's not my shtick.
Yeah,
that's not my shtick.
Well, lucky for you, Andrew, this doesn't have good on it. It's got life, death, and chaos. So
thank God.
You can play death, or you can play death or life on it, bro. You don't have to worry about.
Yeah. I want to try the other symbols on Caleb before I go to Chaos. I do this all the time. I'm like, wow, this is probably their best symbol. But let me just scoot that to the side. Let me try these other ones first.
Let me try these other ones. You know what? I'm gonna play a symbol that hasn't gotten support in over like X amount of time. I know I can play Chaos where all the good cards are at, but I'm just why would I do that? That doesn't make any sense.
I don't have a competitive mindset. So my brain just says, hey, I want to have fun with this symbol, this character. So I'm gonna do this. Before I do this symbol, that's probably the best symbol. I want to have fun.
James, what do you think? Can you relate to that?
Having fun.
I love having fun, actually. That's why I build good decks.
All right. I can't wait to jump in the water and let the gators go.
Yeah, good is a symbol, apparently. Totally didn't. I mean, I knew, but I like forgot that it was there. I actually like looked it up while you guys were talking. Well, I typed good symbol into Google, and it just came. Yeah, it didn't show me anything. So then I had to type good symbol Universus, and I don't remember ever seeing the symbol. It's like a halo, like.
No, sorry. I just pictured you putting a Google. Google's like, what the fuck are you getting?
It's just showing me like a bunch of thumbs up. Like, yep, that is a good symbol. You're
right. Yep, good symbol. Good symbol? Did you mean chaos?
The next secret rare is Mighty Blitz. It looks super good. It's an attack. It's a 4 diff, 1 low block, 5 mid, 3 damage. It's got powerful 4, charge, fury spell, and weapon. That's a lot of keywords.
A lot of keywords.
And it says, Blitz, add 1 attack from your discard pile to your card pool. And then it has another Blitz. It says if you have a
High attack.
High? Yeah, I can tell the color on my monitor. If you have
She's reading hieroglyphics.
if you have a high attack in your card pool, this attack gets +3 damage. If you have a low attack in your card pool, your rival spends 2 momentum. And it has fire, life, law, and water.
I like this card. One reason being on order, this is great with Patchwork Baby. Patchwork Baby is getting so much damage.
Yeah.
It is fantastic.
I hate that
It's just
card.
another. It's another spell for. Well, I mean, everybody to use. You know, this set's full of spells, but
Mhm.
like Caleb on Fire gets to use this for a card we'll talk a bit later. But like, I think this card's cool. Like as a formative secret, I think it's harmless. It has powerful force, so it could just accidentally kill somebody at the right time. I think this card's all right.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I do like this new like direction we're going with Exandria, with like giving you options for what you want to do. So for this one, it says you can add an attack from your discard pile to your card pool. If it's a high attack, it does one thing. If it's a low attack, it does another. So it's really like giving you, the player, more power and more options. So you're saying, what do I need right now? Do I need damage, or do I want them to get rid of momentum? And then you get to decide. So I think that's cool.
Yeah, and it does both too. So you can play a high attack, play this, bring in a low attack, and then you get both options.
That's fair.
Yep.
So yeah, there's a lot of different things that you can do with it. This is the best card for my boy Ojiro 2. Sadie's rotating. Can't ever use it.
07? I mean,
Uh,
who
07.
is actually who is playing Ojiro? Who is playing Ojiro 2?
Yeah.
I mean,
For this card comes out, everybody. But
I mean, honestly, who is Ojiro 2?
Yeah.
that man went out back with Bertolt too.
Literally.
Oh, did they nerf him like into the ground?
Oh,
Ojiro
yeah.
2. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, he's
I think I wasn't
they
around
said-
for that.
They sent him to a farm upstate.
Oh no.
No, this card's fine. I think this card's great.
I think this card's fine. I wouldn't go as far as to say this card's great. I'm gonna be overly critical about a lot of these cards because there are several of them I just don't really feel like they're I don't feel like they're secret rares. Like this
Yeah.
one, I also would say does not really feel like a secret rare. It's statted 5 mid for 3, which yeah, you can give it 3 damage, so it's like a 5 mid for 6. But you're also putting a card in your card pool that does not ignore progressive.
Mm-hmm.
So you're putting another card in your card pool, and you're either killing with this card, or you're playing on 2 or 3 cards now for 3 damage. The only time it's probably worth it is if you're playing into a momentum matchup and you need them to spend 2 momentum. Like,
Yep.
then it's probably fine. I'll take the one in my card pool so that you have to dump 2 momentum. That's pretty good. Powerful 4, very good. But this doesn't generate momentum, so you kind of need to play it in someone that is generating momentum. It doesn't have chaos, which is the easiest momentum generation symbol. So, like, outside of like maybe a tech piece to burn 2 momentum off your opponent, I don't see this. This feels like another UR to me. Like maybe a slightly tuned up UR, but like still a UR.
yeah. I mean, when we talk about secret rares, like, are we just comparing everything to like Falling Skies and Deception Dagger? Like, because if so, these are not on that level.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. So like, I think to be fair, not everything is Falling Skies Deception Dagger, but like, look at secret rares from. Hold on, let me hit the right buttons over here on my thing. Look at some of the last secret rares we've gotten. So you like a lot of the attack, like you have stuff like defeating the Colossus Titan that does a lot on face, and in the decks it goes hard. But there's a bunch of secret rares in AOT that aren't really that good. But you have like High Speed Dive, Whirling Slash. You have
Defeating the Colossus Titan.
Defeating the Colossus Titan, Midst of Despair.
Yeah.
Pressing the Advantage. You have like Gigantification Swing, Luna Tierras. You have Big Fist Bash, which I think in its own way is like a decent card. But like, and then you have you're gonna have ones that don't see as much play, but you have like Dragon of the Darkness Flame, Genkai's Guidance, Spear Gun Final.
Dragon of the Darkness Flame is a UR.
Yeah. That's not necessarily.
Yes, Dragon of the Darkness Flame.
Darkness.
You're
Dragon
thinking.
Palace. Oh
yeah, there you go.
Sorry, I saw Hiei.
I mean,
Okay, we want to talk about. Hold on, we want to talk about the secret rares that don't live up. Dragon of Darkness Powers, like that card, Does
Yeah,
not
that
play
actually-
in
that actually
anybody
does
except
not-
for EA. Like,
Correct,
Yeah.
correct. But I was thinking like Spear Gun Final, True
Mhm.
100% Unleashed is being played
Yep.
right now. Bryan used it to survive Devil Gin yesterday on stream.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah, I was sick.
Fear Swings, I found plenty of application for Fear Swings. Heroes Upbringing. Mostly, there's a bunch of good secret rares, and like you can compare these on any level. These feel worse than a lot of those. Like nothing, not every card is going to be Deception Dagger, Falling Skies, where you're building decks around it. But
Mhm.
like, I don't feel like Mighty Blitz is better than Survey Corps Teamwork, and that card's fine. Like I think it's tuned enough to be a secret rare, but like these feel like URs. Like these feel like pretty decent URs, or at least Mighty Blitz and Earthbreaker. I think Harness Undeath and Grog's Rage are like I feel like Harness Undeath is situationally a secret rare, but it definitely in what it wants to do feels like a secret rare, where it's like a play style thing that kind of pushes that forward. And Grog's Rage is a great card.
Yeah. I guess that's my question then. Do you feel like to be a secret rare, it needs to be on the level of Falling Skies and Deception Dagger? Like it has to be so pushed that you're building decks around it?
I feel like it needs to at least have some semblance of a game plan and not feel like a tech piece. Like Mighty Blitz feels like a tech piece.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Earthbreaker feels like a tech piece. It needs to be something you go, I'm playing this card in my deck and I always want it to be there. I'm probably almost never siding it out. And I feel like Mighty Blitz, unless you're like in maybe a handful of characters, like if you can make that card not count towards progressive, it's probably fine. I don't know if these are on like there's probably a character or two that these are fine in, but like yeah, I would like them to at least be close or like around like Survey Corps Teamwork or like defeating the Colossus Titan, like cards where they either need to be like game enders or like pressing the advantage. Like you don't build around pressing the advantage, but it's a game ender. Like that was my kill card in Hawks. Like it's most of the time I see pressing the advantage and my opponent dies.
Yeah.
So
That's how it was for Toya. Like when I played Toya, pressing the advantage was how Toya killed people. Like
But
they
that's the thing.
overextend, they get tapped, and I have pressing advantage, they just die.
It either needs to be a way to it either needs to feel strong when you're playing it, and like where like this is a core part of my deck, or my strategy of some kind, or it needs to be like a game ender. And like there are varying degrees of that, but I don't feel like Mighty Blitz and I don't feel like Earthbreaker hit that outside of maybe situational uses in certain decks. And that feels less like a secret rare to me, especially with 4 symbols. So like the big thing is, then I would also say like the Attack on Titan cards, they are 1 symbol cards. You can play them on characters that have those symbols because they're attuned, but these are meant to be played. Like these should be like gameplay, like core parts of a deck because they're 4 symbols on like Mighty Blitz and on Earthbreaker. Like they're 4 symbol cards. Like they should be more impactful.
I don't disagree, and I see your argument for it, and I think it's a valid one. I think Mighty Blitz is a cool card, but agreed, it's very situational. Probably doesn't feel like a secret rare, but I mean, I can understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying like it's a bad card or no one's ever going to play it or whatever. I just mean like it's fine. It seems like playable. It just like it feels more like a tech piece. You're going to use it to waste your rival's momentum, or like you're going to play it in some deck that can ignore the progressive on it or something, and it's like a tech piece or something. Which I don't feel like most secrets should be tech pieces, especially because they're some of the hardest cards to pull in a set. So like when you get one, they should feel impactful. You should be like, want to add this to my deck. But I mean, that's my opinion. I still think it's a good card per se. I just don't think it's like quite secret rare. It kind of reads like a tuned up like UR to me, or like not even really a tuned up UR, like just like a UR to me.
That's valid.
Yeah, I can see your point. Well, let's see if the next one is any more up to Jake's high standards. It's called Spellstorm. It's a 4 diff attack. It's another 2 check. So 1 high block. It's 5 high for 3, and it's got Mage EX2, Powerful 3, and Spell. And it says, you may flip spell cards in your card pool as though you were spending momentum to pay for this card's keywords abilities. And then the response says, after this attack deals damage, draw 1 card. And I want to point out that this is the guy on this card is not Gale from not Baldur's Gate 3.
It's true.
So,
It is hashtag not Gale.
yeah.
It's whatever the opposite word for gale is for with fire.
This is wind.
Yeah, this is another wind. This is gust.
Gus.
But the T silent. Gus.
Gus.
This is good.
Oh, sorry. It's got Chaos, Fire, and Void. I forgot to say that.
I like this card.
Of course you do.
I mean, it's one. The art looks fantastic. I
Caleb,
really like the art of this one.
fanboy. I can smell it. Caleb.
I mean,
fanboy.
I know nothing of Critical Role. I just know the character. I'm like, yeah, this character has cool words. But no, like Spellstorm is really cool to me. I haven't really done a whole lot of playtesting with this card or with the characters in Critical Role as a whole. But I feel like Spellstorm does not deserve to be a 2-check. But again, I haven't done enough testing to really make a solid opinion on that regard. But being able to just play a bunch of spells and then you have this and go, well, now I may not have a bunch of momentum, but I have spells in my cardboard to use at my disposal for these keywords to make it mean something. And it does draw you a card if it hits. It's got a good block mod, so I think the card's good. I don't know if it's 2-check good.
Yeah, I'm comparing this, which is a 2-check, to the other 2-check we saw, which is
Grog's
Grog's
Rage.
Rage, which is really good. And I'm like, yeah, I don't. 2-check for this seems a little tiny bit excessive. I don't think it does quite as much as Grog's Rage.
I'm gonna actually pull back on that one. I think this card. I think it deserves to be a 2-check, mainly because one, you're on a symbol that generates momentum. It's got EX and powerful. So if you need the speed, you've got it, or if you need the damage, you've got it. And you can flip spell cards, and it's a 4 diff, so you can play it later, and it's better than playing a 5 diff later.
Yeah,
its base damage and speed are obviously less, but having the ability to play these like in like play it as like your third or fourth card and go sick. I'm gonna powerful 3 at once, so it's now a 6 damage move, and I'm gonna EX it twice, so it's a +4 speed, so it's a 9 high. And that's not accounting for like any of your foundations or anything. And it's a spell, and it's a 4 diff spell, so Caleb can go find it very easily. He can just always play this card.
That's true. Yeah.
This is for mages. This is like a attack like core. Like this is kind of what I was talking about when I was talking about Mighty Blitz. Like I feel like this is a playstyle. Like if you're playing spells, the versatility of this card I think is there, especially on a symbol like Chaos that does net you momentum in general. So that combined with momentum, that gives you more ways to use your outlets in succession. So if you have a turn where you're just like, okay, well, I have to have these 2 momentum, and then you play this as like your third card, you can just blow somebody out of the water by flipping 2 cards in your card pool and going, oh, well, I gave it 6 damage because I know you can't block me. I gave it 4 speed because now I knew like I needed it to get through, and then it draws a card if it hits. So if you are using that EX, you're getting something after it hits to continue your turn or to survive your opponent's next turn. And like I said, Caleb specifically, he goes and finds it.
I think I'm with Jake. I think this one's really good for the mage spell package, like what you want to do with that. I think it's great in Caleb. I think it could be really good in Allura as well because she just prints momentum. I think it's really good. I just don't know if the spell package. We got some good stuff. I just don't know if it's as good as some of the other stuff you can be doing on those symbols.
Meaning like running things that are not spell cards?
Yeah, I'm thinking about Chaos, like the cards that you want to run, Determined Advance, Walk the Dog, stuff like that. Like those are not spells, and I don't know if this card and some of the other spells that we got make that package better than what we've already got going on. Specifically Chaos, but then Fire and Void has kind of their own things that they're doing as well. Fire and Void may benefit from this a bit more, but specifically on Chaos, I don't know that it edges out the attack packages we've already got.
Yeah, but I mean,
But
your attack package would be totally different if you were crafting around spell cards, right? Like, so are you saying like the spell package isn't as good as what we already have for chaos?
That's what I'm wondering. Is like I haven't done any testing with it. I don't. Looking at some of the spells that have been revealed and stuff we've already got, I don't know that that spell package that we have is better than just the chaos good stuff that we've been using.
Yeah, I'm curious to see what's gonna happen. This seems powerful. I still personally don't think it should be a 2-check. I think that's kneecapping it a little bit too much. But that's just me personally. And Andrew as well. Andrew personally. But let's move on to our last secret rare, which is Violent Animus Shot. This is a 4-diff attack. It's a 1 low block. It's a 4 high for 5 with Breaker 1, ranged, tech, and weapon on it. And it says, Blitz, commit 1 foundation. Remove 1 backup from any stage. If you did, draw 1 card, and this card gains flash. And then it has response. After this attack deals damage, your rival removes 1 random card from their hand. And it's got air, evil, order, and void on it. My first opinion on this card is like meh. Like that's kind of the only thing that's coming to my head is like meh.
I mean, this is a cool card for Percy. It wants to remove a card in some fashion. It's also a range tech, so Percy's going to care about that. Breaker 1 low block's pretty nice, and then being able to rip a card out of your opponent's hand is always going to be good. I think this card's fine.
Yeah, I think it's fine. I think it's probably the weakest of the secret rares. I think.
Yeah, I
You
think it's
think
up
so?
there.
I think the other ones just it's probably probably tied with Earthbreaker. Like I think neither one of those are stand out fantastic. I think I don't know. It's
That's
a
fair.
4 high 5 that half of it doesn't work if they don't play backups.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it says any stage, so you can remove your own backups.
Yeah, I mean, it answers any backup that could be a threat. So it's giving us answer to problematic backups, which, again, we don't really know if there are going to be any problematic backups with this set, but it is an option on top of not only removing the backup, but it draws you a card and making it flash, so your opponent can't really interact with it if they're a deck that does a lot of interactions.
Yeah, I know that removing a card from like people's hand that's really strong. I just don't like. I don't like that it's a random card, and I know you can't just say like, "Show me your hand." Okay, get rid of your Genkais. You know, like that would be crazy strong. I just don't like.
you mean like Trigrav?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trigraph does get to go, wow,
True.
Genkais, get it out of here.
True. Yeah, I just don't like saying remove a random card. Like this is already a card game, which is
Well,
like mostly RNG, where we're trying to like to make these decks good. I think what you're trying to do is like make them as consistent as possible, right? Like unless you're playing like a casino deck, but like I don't like having that additional layer of like getting lucky, you know?
well, I think this is better than like it is basically there's tiers of getting rid of cards in their hand. There's discard a card.
Mm-hmm.
There's remove a or discard a random card because then they don't get to choose. Maybe they rip the best card in their hand.
Yeah.
Whereas if it just says response, they discard a card, then they just pick the worst one and get rid
That's
of it.
true.
Like
Yeah.
so, this is like technically better for you. And then there's of course pick and remove, which is crazy.
Yeah, which is what Trigraph does.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one reads like a UR to me. Also, like you can make it if backups are being played. Like you kind of want backups to be played if you're playing this card, so you have the option to play Flash, especially if you're playing Percy. But Percy doesn't really care about backups because he can just give this speed before the Flash, and then he give it speed and then fly, and then it becomes a Flash, and you draw a card, which would be fine. And a fast card with flash can be really hard to deal with. And having to hit to get the remove when like you have things like Trigrab that just rips. Like you also have there's a 5 diff from Girl Power that you spend a momentum, and if it's blocked, you spend a momentum and they rip a card. So like this is kind of like the same thing but opposite. The only difference there is you get a card out of their hand because they have to block, or you get a card out of their hand because they didn't block. When they're more likely to just block it and not take the damage. Whereas like the other card from Girl Power, I'll only pull it up real quick.
It's an attack, right?
Yeah, it's an attack.
Yeah. And while you're doing that, I mean, you have to be able to give it speed at response speed. Otherwise,
Yes.
there's like no way that this rips a card because a 4 high is very blockable, unless you're just playing it super late and they're tapped out. So I don't know. I think there's just too much that kind of hinders this from doing what it wants to do.
So the card I'm thinking of is Dire Assault, Flash, Range, Response, Spend momentum. After this attack is blocked, your rival discards one card.
Yes, the midnight card.
So yes, it's a 4 low for 5, but like it's not a secret rare, and if they block it, it's also a flash without needing some wild condition. So if you can also give this response, which actually in Percy you can play this card if you play on death, and you spend one momentum, and then after this attack's blocked, your rival discards a card. So you can make them have to tap stuff to block it, and then when they do, they discard or they have to eat damage. Which I mean both are good for you.
Play on death?
Yeah.
This doesn't have
doesn't have death.
What does he have?
Violent Animus Shot is air,
Is it
evil,
order?
void.
It's got chaos, death, void.
So he
Percy
plays on
not.
void.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
what it is. Sorry, because I remember I was looking at it the other day and I was like, oh, Percy could play this card.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's void. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, but yeah, like you can also play this card on Percy as well. Because
I believe it's an uncommon. The midnight card.
Yeah, that card's an uncommon. That uncommon basically does what this does, but because it's also a 4 low for 5. It's a 4 low for 5. The stats are literally the same except it's a low, so it's a non-punishing block. If they do block, they lose a thing, and the only other thing this has is breaker on it, and I think the block mod's slightly better. But also, this is a 4 diff instead of a 5. Like this is comparable to an uncommon that we already have in the game on one of the symbols that uncommon has.
Yeah. I mean, if you can fire the blitz, of course it does draw a card, so the Q get that. But yeah, I don't know. I am not blown away by it.
That's valid. Yeah, just as we're sitting here and talking about it, I think I'm starting to share your guys' sentiment on this card. Like it's just kind of there. It's fine. It's a card. Is it worthy of being a secret rare? I don't think so. Like I'm starting to come around to that sentiment. But having answers to backups could prove to be good in the future. We'll just have to see.
I mean, as they keep making these backup characters, like there is a world where this card becomes good, or it's a tech piece, or something like that. I don't feel like you should. I feel like this is another card that prints and reads as a UR.
Yeah.
Because like most of what this card does, stat line and all, is what a uncommon does from another set. So the only added benefit is this will help this will flat remove a backup from a stage. So if there's a good backup, or like we've got these attacks that shift into backups, if they become prominent, this is a silver bullet, which is cool to have. But like as the set releases and the meta we're currently seeing play out in like worlds and stuff, I'm not sure that it's that important.
Yeah, it does seem like Universus is leaning a little more into like backup stuff. I haven't seen many of the backups that came out this set, but it doesn't seem like it was just like a one and done thing for AOT. Like it seems like they're committing to it a little bit. So
I mean, if they were dropping it after AOT, I would be very upset. Actually, like quite upset. I have spoken about being adamantly against adding new card types or mechanics just for them to be dropped almost immediately. Like I find that grinds my gears so bad. I hate it. So if they did end up just dropping the backups after AOT, I'd be furious.
Yeah, we've got this set, and then we've got AOT 3, so we're probably going to get even more backups.
Yeah, that's true.
So
yeah, I mean, I'm sure cards like this are necessary, and like as we see like them a backup play style, which is nice. I like them. I like having different play styles for different people. But I think overall, I don't know. I just feel like This set doesn't feel as powerful as some of the AOT sets. Like you have stuff like Determined Advance, Attack Titan Taymaker, Besiege, Lethal Slash. There's just a bunch of cards from AOT that you can Midst of Despair, like that I can sit here and name that are like they're big win cons for decks, or like they're seeing play now in the competitive means. And I think this set's cool. I think this is going to give a lot of options to stuff. I like the set flavor wise overall, but none of the secret rares outside of maybe Grog's Rage, which is pretty specific to things with rage counters, is like, oh wow, this is gonna warp the meta. Which I mean, we don't need the meta to be warped or something like to play around one card that's not fun. But this set does kind of feel like almost a little bit of a lower side grade from AOT instead of like a power up, which might be what they're going for. They might not want to raise the power level straight away with every single set and just kind of side grade, give more options, and then raise like incrementally over the year instead of just like every set's like a big bump up or like,
Yeah, there is something to be said about that, about like trying to control the power creep for sure. Making sure that your cards don't become irrelevant. So I do appreciate that. I don't want, like eventually you get to a point where cards are just so crazy that you're just like, well, this isn't the same game that I started playing a few years ago. So I appreciate, not going crazy with the power levels, but
I mean, at the same time, like,
yeah.
I want to be able to play these cards,
Yeah, and that was kind of what I was going to finish with, is just like, these are not the most powerful secret rares.
Yeah, it's like you still want to try to shoot for secret rares because they're high rarity cards, so you really want them to be sought after. Now, I think collectively, like for like collectors, I think they are going to want them just because the art is nice, and like I think for collectors it's there, but it also players is what keeps the game alive. So, and I don't think the secret rares are hitting it home are going to be desirable. But I mean, they're not outright bad, but some of them could do a bit more.
Yeah, I think like Jake was saying, none of these feel, except for like I said, maybe Grog's Rage and Harness Undeath and
Spellstorm.
I guess Spellstorm. So I guess half of them, you're like, yeah, this is what my deck does. This secret rare is the best card in my deck. It's the attack that wins me the game. Things like that. I after hearing Jake talk about it, I think that is important, especially for our secret rares. And like I said, like half of them kind of feel like that.
Yeah. Well, now that we've talked through these 6 secret rares, the good and the bad, I know we all kind of individually went through the rest of the cards. We don't want to talk about all of them because there's just too many. The video would be like 10 hours long, and you guys don't want that. Surely you don't want 10 hours of us yapping about cards.
Or do you?
Let us know
in the comment down below.
Yeah.
And if you sign up for our Patreon, you can get my 3.5 hour rant about combined firepower.
Oh, money.
But yeah, we went through kind of on our own.
That was a joke. We don't have a Patreon. Continue.
I mean, we could.
Depends if they want. I can rant for 3 hours about combined firepower. Just let me know.
So full disclosure, I don't know if the cards that I picked are any good. They seem kind of good to me. They seem interesting. Mostly there's just cards that stood out to me that I want to try to make work. This is Dwuith Var, the Star Razor. It's a UR asset. It's a 2-diff, 1 high block. And it says Unique Vestige and Weapon on it. And it says if your character is a champion, this card gets -1 difficulty. Enhance commit, CO1 Rival Foundation. Response commit after you take 5 or more damage from an attack. Your rival must play a non-attack card as their next form or pass. They may lose 6 health to cancel this ability. I mean, the reason I like this is just kind of like, I like the thematics of it. Like, it's a sword and it's like an asset in a true sense. Like, this is your character's asset. They're going to bring this sword around with them. But also, I like the defensiveness of it. I like that it's like, you're going to really be running this with someone who's kind of like taking damage to the face, And then after you do that, you just say like, okay, stop playing attacks. Or if you want to play another attack and not have to deal with progressive difficulty, you're going to have to lose health, and no one's really going to do that. And then there's the seal one, if you want to.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think this card has a lot of good implications. It's mostly a defensive card, right?
Yeah.
You can use it defensively to seal a pivotal. I can't word. A very important card in their state. Very important foundation.
It's like reading with a third grader.
Yeah, I did say that.
Shout out last week.
Go watch our tier list video.
Yeah.
Jake's a clown. Anyway, this is a good defensive asset. You can shut off a very important foundation in their stage that they need to kill you. On top of it, they do manage to get 5 or more damage through. You can just go, hey, hit the brakes, slow down, or you can just lose health and continue trying to kill me. I like this. It's cool.
Yeah. And a 2 is cheap. And it's a 1 if you're a champion. So that's so cheap. That's really cheap for an asset. I just play that at the end of my build turn, and it's just sure, why not? Or I guess you'd play it at the beginning. Whatever. I'd play it during my build turn, and it wouldn't be a big deal. Is the point?
Yeah, for sure.
I could play it at the end if I wanted to.
Yeah, because nobody can stop you.
No, they can't.
You do what you want.
It's true.
That is how it works.
But then my other one is Hooligan's Mockery. I'm curious if James also picked this one, because this seems like kind of a James card.
It does seem like a James card.
So Hooligan's Mockery is a 5 diff attack. It's a 1 high block. It's a 5 high for 5. And it's got Breaker 1, Taunt, and Weapon on it. And it says Blitz, lose 1 health, seal 2 rival foundations. This attack gets +1 damage for each sealed rival foundation. It is 2 check, so I don't love that. But I think it's fairly powerful. I like the Breaker. It's got an easy block. Losing 1 health is not that big of a deal. And sealing 2 rival foundations is a big deal. And getting damage for each of them. And then you can combo this with other things to seal, right? So you don't just have to give it the +2 damage from the 2 that you seal. But this is a nice control-y card where it's for example, if I'm playing against James and he has 2, I don't know, what are some really good foundations right now that you play, James?
Last week it was Unmatched Quickness.
Yeah. Yeah, the speed one, exactly.
Yeah, I look at Hooligan's Mockery and I just go, I think this is how Shoto 4 kills people.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it even in Hooligan himself, he seals up to 2 foundations, so if they let that happen, that's 4 damage when you play this card, so.
Yeah, for sure. The card's neat. It does exactly what Hooligan wants. It even has a Breaker 1 with the 1 high block, so if you have to hold on to it and block a really good high attack, it's a good block. So
yeah, I think it's well statted. It does some cool stuff. The 2 check kind of sucks. That's the only thing where I'm why, but that's okay. But those are my 2 picks. And then I do have an honorable mention that I didn't technically pick because I don't think it's that good, but it's so cute. It's called Spirit Unicorns. It's got Jester on it, as you can probably imagine.
It's a very good art.
It's a 5 diff attack, 2 low block, EX3, ally spell, 4 mid 5. I guess I'll read it. Blitz mill 2. If this is your first attack this turn, this card does not count towards progressive difficulty to play spell cards this turn. And then it says response card pool. After you ready 1 or more foundations, your next attack gets +1 damage. So it might be good. I don't really know. I don't know enough about what Jester wants to do, but the art is really cute. She's got little pink unicorns coming out of her little spell things, and I'm a unicorn fan.
Yeah, that's fair. Art's really good. I think it plays into what the new Jester wants. Art's good. I assume is
it's literally
the big reason why you picked it. It's
little fat pink unicorns on it. How could I not pick this?
That's valid.
But yeah, we'll go down to Jake. What did you pick, Jake?
I picked for my first one Pristine Swordplay. It's a 4 difficulty, 2 mid block, 4 mid for 4, and it's a 3 check. It's got ally tech and weapon keywords. It says Blitz, ready 1 asset that hasn't been readied this combat phase. That's already pretty good. And then it has enhanced sacrifice 1 asset. This attack gets +X damage. X equals the printed difficulty of the sacrificed asset. This card could just kill people, especially if it's in the guy that's face is on this card.
Yeah.
Tyrion.
Mm-hmm.
I think this is a good card. This is a good UR. It does exactly what he wants to do. and it's a potential kill card. It's a 4. It's very well, I think, statted for what it does. I think it's just an overall good card.
Yeah, I almost picked this one, actually. This was on my short list.
So no surprises there. And then my second one, what's really funny is my second one I picked Spirit Unicorns.
Really?
And I'll tell you why. So you just read it, so I'm not going to bother reading it. But the word before unicorn says spirit. It's use case support.
Oh, shit.
Oh,
God.
Let's go! It's got the life symbol. Use case plays a life symbol. Actually, that's the symbol I usually build him on.
Wow.
So I'm just saying, this card's busted. Not really, because it doesn't do anything Yusuke wants to do.
Not really.
And it only shares one symbol, so he can't even give it +1/+1. But he can play this card. He can.
Yeah, it's got spirit in the
It
name.
says spirit. He can discard a card to play this from the drop if he wants to. But he doesn't ready foundations, and he doesn't play spell cards.
He could, though.
So good, though. He could. He doesn't.
You could build
But-
Mage Yusuke. That'd be cool.
I could build Mage Yusuke. The problem is most of those cards don't share 2 symbols with him.
Mm.
So his +1/+1 enhance is useless.
Just like the character. Move on.
Damn.
Oh my god! And my honorable mention was actually Cabal's Ruin. I think it's a really cool asset. I'm not going to read all of it, but it's for the Inventor Thief. Gives -1 speed, and you can also use it for damage amp to kill your opponent later. Pretty sick.
Nice. Wow, each player mills
Andrew,
10. That's crazy.
Yeah. Also, that's the card we were talking about for Night Eye.
Yeah. Can he even play it?
Yeah, you can play it.
On order.
Is it order? Okay. Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
couldn't
can
remember if he
play
had order or not. I was like, he's Death All something.
Yeah, he's
He's all death order.
Yeah, he's all Death Order.
All right.
No, yes,
Yes.
he
He's-
is because I had an all list for him. But yeah, I think this card's sick. I think it does cool stuff. It helps you survive until you just go, hey, I see you're in this dark alley. Bow, 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 bow. So it's pretty sick.
See, the other
That's
reason I like these new assets that are like gear and like weapons and like armor and stuff is because I get to play like mental dress up with the characters in my heads. Like now I'm like imagining Night Eye wearing this cloak, and he would look so good in this.
So my UR was extended back roundhouse. It's Beauregard's UR. It's a 4 difficulty 2 check. It's a 4 low for 4 with a 1 low block. As Echo and Kick. As the Blitz that if you have 3 or more cards in your card pool, you build all face down cards in your card pool during the end phase, and they remain face down. This card is really cool for me. To me, it lets you string out with because Bo is like a combo character. Like she kind of wants to string out and play a handful of attacks. And then Extended Back Roundhouse just says, I know you more than likely won't have a chance to really build afterwards. So how about we just build down those attacks that you threw with your character ability? On top of, if you echo with this card, it then flips itself. So you can then build it. So you'll be building 3 at the end of your attack turn. So you got to sling a handful of attacks and still got to build 3. So it feels pretty good. I don't know if it's worthy enough to be of being a 2 check. But I think there is an argument with everything I just said that it deserves to be a 2 check. I've been cooking a list with Bo using this card. I don't think it's going to be anything fantastic, but it could be pretty cool. And then for my next UR, I actually chose Scanlan's Hand. It is a 2 difficulty action, checks for 5 with a 2 mid block with the ally punch and spell keyword. Just realizing it has punch. It's weird looking at the art, but whatever. I guess he's
It's
riding a
his
giant
hand.
fist.
Yeah,
he's
his
riding a
hand.
giant hand. I just now saw that. All right, never mind. Makes sense. It has form, commit one rival non-character card, and you may spend a momentum, and if you do, commit your rival's character instead. Response card pool, after a block is played, the next attack this turn gets +3 or -3 damage. If your character's hand size is less than your rival's, you build this card face down committed. Being able to turn off your opponent's character is big in this game. There's not a lot of answers to characters currently in this format, in standard format. So being able to have a card that just says, all right, I know you're a defensive character, but I'm going to turn you sideways. You're not going to have those cool words anymore. I'm now going to kill you. On top of that, if you are a 5-hander, you can play an attack your opponent blocks. You then get to respond scalance to clear it to give your next attack more damage on top of building yourself one. So this card seems pretty freaking cool to me.
Yeah, this card just says "Get rotated, idiot," and then you get to play your turn.
Get ratioed, bucko.
I think it's pretty cool. The only thing I don't necessarily like about it is a lot of our best defensive characters now say tenacious. So turning them sideways doesn't matter that much. But there are definitely characters where it matters against.
That is fair. I mean, this could just be a funny little side piece, like a sideboard piece. I mean, a lot of people, we had Blood Curdle. Like, Blood Curdle was in the sideboards for a good bit. So, this being in the sideboard, perfectly fine. I still think it's really cool to just go, yeah, your character does nothing. I'm going to go ahead and kill you now. And as an honorable mention, I wanted to bring up Sweeping Daggers. It is a 4 difficulty, 3 check, 5 mid for 4, Fury weapon, 1 mid block. Blitz, remove an attack from your rival's discard pile. Sweeping Daggers gains all the abilities, keywords, and ratings on the card. And you can also Blitz, remove a card with Dagger or Daggers, and it's same for your discard pile. Your rival loses 1 health. I just like this card because it's Dagger support. You can use it with the old Vax's Dagger cards with Dagger, Dagger, Dagger. Like, more daggers. It's fun. It's cool. That's literally the only reason.
Yeah, Sweeping Daggers was actually one I was looking at too. I considered it, but then like that second blitz, I was like, meh, 1 health. I don't know if it matters that much. And then also it was contending against like Spirit Unicorns, so you know.
I mean, it was not gonna win.
No, nothing really holds up against Spirit Unicorns. So, all right, James, let's hear yours.
My first one that I've got is Blessed Metal. It is a 4 difficulty, 3 check, 2 mid block, 4 mid for 4. Fury spell weapon. It says Blitz, if you have gained a health this turn, draw 1 card. If you are at maximum health, this attack gets +1 speed and +1 damage. I just like the words on it. I obviously going to be really good in Pike and probably Ymir. Drawing cards, always good. I think those characters both have ways to get at 2 full health. Granted, Ymir may not always want to be, but the +1/+1 is fine. It's just it's 4 mid 4 draws a card, and the characters that it matters in. I like what it does. Other one is indeed Hooligan's Mockery.
Yay! I knew it. I knew it.
Yeah. Card's dope. Sealed card, cool. It's a 5 mid 5. That's great. It's got Breaker 1. Card's just really good. I'm gonna be running it in Hooligan for sure. And then probably if I ever get around to making Shoto 4 again, it goes in immediately.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see a Shoto 4 work with this, because I'm interested in, like, I'm not interested in playing, like, super defensive, super control-y characters, but if there's a way to make Shoto 4, like, have his defensive stuff, but also, like, he could just smack you, like, that sounds really fun, and I would want to try that out.
Yeah, Shoto 4 is great. I played him previously. He's my favorite character from that set, hands down. There has been too much self-destruction lately for him to be super good. Because you would seal stuff and they would just blow him up and then you don't get the stats. With some of the new stuff, we may be coming back around. We'll have to take a look and see what's available.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you would probably be able to more consistently be able to seal their stage down with what Hooligan has on top of everything that Shoto 4 has, and just everything in between that seals things. Like, sealing might be a bit more consistent, where you can keep up the shutting off their stage and giving stats.
Right. Yeah, and that's what I have to kind of explore now. But as far as honorable mentions go, mine is going to be for Orphan Maker's Fury. It's her ultra rare attack for Yasha. 6 difficulty, 3 check, 2 mid block, 5 high 8. Fury weapon Blitz. This attack gets +1 speed for each rage counter on your character. Response after this attack is blocked, your rival loses X health. X equals 5 minus their block mod. It's an 8 plus whatever Yasha's got for 1,000,000. Like this card's just like the speed goes crazy. The attack's going to get huge for damage. I think is a really cool card.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
card is really good. This got revealed, and I was like, man, Yasha just got a lot scarier, I think.
Mhm.
So this card is sick. I would actually, we were talking about earlier with the secrets that a couple of them didn't really feel like secrets. I think Orphan Maker's Fury could actually make a spot to be a secret rare.
Yes, this would absolutely fit in the secret rare spot. Like this is stronger than some of the secret rares we have. So this is a card you build your deck around, and it's a card that ends games.
Is this something that
Mhm.
Grog can run too?
Yes.
Ooh,
They share two symbols. They share death and fire.
man. So many good cards for Grog and Yasha.
True. Someone on the design team really liked brutes.
Yeah.
Or barbarians. I forget their class. Or if there's even a difference. I don't know. I don't play D&D. I don't know anything about. I'll save myself into the water with the gators.
Well, you don't play D&D yet. Hint.
Oh,
Hint.
hint.
Oh,
Nani?
But yeah, that's kind of been our picks for cards that were standing out to us, things that we really liked. Let us know in the comments what cards you guys saw, maybe that we missed. What's on your short list for things that look interesting, cute, fun, good, or things that you just like and you're not sure why. We want to know.
And also, like, comment, subscribe, please, and thank you. It helps us out. And you'll get to see more of our videos, especially if you hit that notification bell. Hate to shill, but I'm in a shilling mood.
If you click that bell button, I will finally be saved from all the torture and torment.
No, he won't.
Well, this has been another episode of Response on Play, another episode of us lost in the dark, this time with gators. Will we ever make it to Florida? How is Bryan doing in Florida at Worlds? I don't know. You could ask him and then you would know, or you could wait until next time when we talk about it.
Catch us next week. Same bat time, same bat channel.
oh God.
This has been Steph with a smiley face. Have I ever told you guys that I'm afraid of crocodiles?
This has been Jake, and these gators, they're my friends.
Andrew, what's with Jake being in the water?
And James, just the other guy.